What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys, Xavier and Nick. And today, guys, we're going to be covering UFC London. It is an early card. Guys, somebody's O has got to go. We got two undefeated guys at the top of their respective division at 145. Winner should get a title shot. Evloev versus Murphy. Banger main event. Rest of the card, we're still going to talk about it. Some fun stuff on there. Talk to me, guys, about this main event, what it means to the featherweight division, and what do you think is going to happen?
I think this is a huge fight for the division. Like you said, someone's O must go, and I feel like I love those kind of fights. Because neither one of these guys knows how to lose, and I do think that I would say like having being undefeated is not everything in this sport, but there is something to people who have that O and have never felt like what it's like to lose before, because it's like you don't know how, you don't like. It can go one of two ways. Like if you've never faced any adversity in your, on your run. When you're finally face some adversity, like you could just like ball up and be like, "Oh no," and that's when we find out people have no grit. They're just front runners. But it could also go the other way where it's like on some John Jones shit. Like, yeah, I might be down a couple rounds, but like I'm not folding. Like I don't know how to lose. Like I'm just gonna keep finding a way. So I love a matchup like this because both of them, even if the fight's not going their way, I don't see either of them just kind of accepting what's happening. Like they're both gonna try their best to the bell. Um, I think that whoever wins this fight better get a title shot. If not, shout out my boy John Silva if he comes in and snags that bitch. I will shamelessly not give a fuck about either of them. But outside of that, like we both know that this is the rightful number one contender fight. And even though Evloev should have been had a title shot in my mind, like he's already deserved it to me. But like you can't deny him if he goes out there and beats Murphy anymore. So and I think Volk like definitely said that like he would rather like the rightful like fight the rightful person, which is the winner of this fight, obviously. So they're in a pretty good position. I would say like 80% to get a title shot, whoever wins this.
Yeah, I mean, Volk Volk knows better. He doesn't want to fight Lord Silva yet.
Not at all.
And this absolutely has to be a title eliminator. I mean, it's already been said basically, but I mean, they did just screw Imavov literally last week when they promised him one for sure. Like, I'm pretty sure it was promised and swiped it right away, gave it to Strickland. But I don't care to be honest. But this fight has to be a title eliminator. I think it's a great matchup. Both guys have looked great in the UFC. Um, I love the story of Murphy. He almost died, I think, like separate times or something like that. Uh, bones broken, I believe. I believe he got shot in the back of the head,
You got shot in the face.
shot in the
Yeah.
face. And it's just a great story. Like I've always loved the story of him, and I love his fighting style. I think he's a pretty complete fighter. And same with Evloev. I think Evloev has done his due diligence in the UFC and has grinded his way to where he needs to be right now. Probably should have deserved a title fight by now. However, I have flamed him before for not showing up to dates. He does that constantly. But at this point, he will show up to this date, and we will find out who the better undefeated guy is. So it should be a great fight. I think either way, I can see it going one way that I'll save how I think the fight goes here.
Okay. And back to the undefeated thing. Shout out to the boxers, but being undefeated in MMA means a lot more than being undefeated in boxing. It's a whole lot harder to pick out your opponents and cherry pick and just the different styles. So shout out to these two. Let's get into the X's and O's. We can get into our predictions here. It's kind of a grappler versus striker, but like you said, Clark, both guys they can pretty much do everything. They're just better at other things than certain things. But I'm gonna go with Lerone Murphy here by decision.
I knew
That,
it.
yeah, that's gonna be my pick. I think Evil is gonna have a strong start to the fight and get multiple takedowns, but I don't think Murphy's just going to sit there and take it through 5 rounds. I think he is the better striker. He hits harder. I don't like the Evloev inconsistency with his schedule at all. Lerone Murphy's coming off the biggest win of his career, which was a finish. Both these guys are kind of decision merchants, so I like seeing a finish out of Murphy. I think Murphy's going to thrive throughout the fight. He's going to be on the ground a lot, but the moments he has on the feet, I think, are going to outweigh that of Mozart. And it is in London, boys. If it's a close fight, it's going to Murphy. And I don't know about you guys, but I believe in the whole protect hometown thing. This is a huge fight for Murphy. He's going to get a dub in London.
Um, I could see the fight playing out the way you said, but I don't think it will. I kind of predict a pretty like, I think there will be some moments like Lerone Murphy will have his moments and like maybe steal some rounds on damage or like a big moment from that pops the crowd. But I think that it's gonna be a pretty silent main event actually, because I think that he's gonna be on his back a lot, kind of with I could see a world where it's like with very much like not a lot happening, very little happening. In terms of damage, it's very control bait, like heavy, um, salt around away with control time type rounds. My thing is like I think Pico was giving the Rome Murphy fits before like he got finished, and like when I think of Pico, like I think of his boxing more than his wrestling. So it's like against a specialist like Evloev, like if Pico can get you down, I just know that Evloev can. And Evloev has way more of a, Russian like control heavy type game where it's like I think Lerone Murphy is better at like defending against more like American style wrestlers who are gonna like kind of just shoot the double, you know, not like the chain grappling that like will just like, oh, I can't get you down, but I'm just gonna scoot around to your back and hang on you for 2 minutes until I get like a trip and like buckle you down to your knees and just you know what I mean? Like just the slow anaconda style that these Russians be having, where they just methodically kind of just advance position and kind of hold people down. So I can see like I think that most of the fight's excitement will be provided by Lerone Murphy moments, and I think that the crowd will be there for that. Like they're gonna be, you know, going crazy whenever he does anything, which like definitely like Ed said, if it's a close fight. If it makes sense, the judges will give it to him. I firmly believe that. But I just think that like Movzar will not leave it in their hands enough, like because he's just gonna completely blanket him for some of the rounds at least.
I've already talked about this fight before in the past. I mean, we all talked about it previously. If these specific matchups laid out, we knew who we were gonna pick. So I am taking Evilov. I hate the matchup for Lerone. I just think it's a very bad matchup where and I went back and watched some of Evilov's fights, and he is a lot better of a striker than I think we give him credit for. And Murphy, I think he is the better striker, but I think he likes to counter punch a lot and use more of the elbows off like the break and stuff like that, where I feel like it could look very similar to the Murphy Pico fight. And I watched that back and I'll be honest, Pico was ripping him to the body like a lot more than I remembered. Like he was kind of outstriking him, then kind of getting him down. And I could see somewhat of a recipe of success for Evilov. He's obviously not going to strike as well. He's not going to be ripping shots to the body like Pico, but I think Evilov is athletic enough where he can at least make Lerone think about the striking. And then I just don't think Evilov then is going to be there that long. I think he's going to be like, screw this. Let's get the takedown. And I think he just will versus Murphy. I think Murphy can get back up and the jiu-jitsu isn't bad. But I think over the course of 5 rounds, I've only seen him. To be fair, I don't think we've seen Evloev in a 5 round fight. If I'm mistaken, I do know Murphy fought, Josh Emmett 5 rounds. He didn't finish him either, by the way. So
And Barbosa. No, but I don't think Evil has had a 5 rounder in the UFC.
Barbosa was a 5 rounder.
I think so.
Why?
It was just like a main event.
Okay, so I guess he's so look, I guess the cardio isn't that bad, but neither of those guys wrestled him. Like I don't know how his gas tank's gonna look after getting taken down probably 5 times at least and having to come back up. I think he could finish Evilov late in the fight. I think early though, Evilov's going to have a big edge early. And Evilov to me is far better comp. I look at Murphy's comp, like Josh Emmett, and I like Aaron Pico. I think he's a great prospect, but at the end of the day, he is a Bellator unranked fighter. And then who's before that? Ige, you know, it's just all I just can't see. I think Evilov just gets it done. I think he's just been around longer, more experience in these big kind of fights. And I think the styles match up well for him.
That's fair enough. He's probably going to be the favorite for a reason. He is an Ev, one of those just tough Russian dudes in like every division has one. Do you guys see grounds for a finish here? Because like I said before, both these guys are very decision heavy. They're masters in their own craft, very technical. Any finishes we seeing here? Maybe either way.
The I don't predict one because I think that they both like what I've seen off their cardio is at least like they'll survive type shit. Like I don't think that one of them was gonna have some type of drastic cardio dump where it's like they're completely like fucked, you know? I think that they're both like have enough cardio to at least stay defensively sound enough to not get finished by the other one. Um, I do think that Lerone Murphy in the striking, I would expect if there was a finish, like I would just expect like damn, maybe Lerone Murphy caught Evloev with something. Um, but like I don't see that happening, you know? Like so yeah, I guess like long answer, but like my point is like no, I don't really see one happening.
Yeah, I don't either. I think Evilov's chin to me has looked very good. I don't think Murphy has the biggest pop on his shots. I think the only way we see a finish, and Evlov isn't really a submission guy. He will just ground and pound first, control and then ground and pound instead of just control and bind a sub.
Mhm.
Always been. So I don't really see that happening. Maybe he gets a rear naked on him somehow, but outside of that, I don't see it. And like, so the only finish I could see is Murphy finishing it late in the fight. Because that's my only concern with Evil. He has never fought 5 rounds. But I do think, based on what I've seen in three, I think he can at least push a good four. And then, maybe the five's a little tricky. And that's the only thing I could see. Maybe Murphy getting a late finish. But I think both guys are just too tough. I think it'll go decision probably.
Facts.
Last thing on this fight, guys. What does this fight mean for the champ? If you're Volkanovski, does one guy winning mean more for you? Do you want to face a guy more than the other? Is one more of like a threat than the other? What do you guys think about that for Volk?
I think that if I'm Bulk, I would rather fight Evloev. Um, I just think that Volk's wrestling has always been solid, particularly his defensive wrestling. I think he holds a lot of advantage in the striking department over Evloev. And just with his chin being what it is right now, someone that's like Lerone Murphy, someone who's like has the technical striking of Lerone Murphy, even though doesn't have the most power, he doesn't throw like little wild looping shots like Diego Lopez. Like he throws like pretty straight, which are like a lot harder to like see coming and defend. If Volk's like, reflexes are a little off as he's like gets older. Um, So I just think that the matchup against Evloev like is a lot more straightforward. He can focus on just wrestling. Um, and I think that his striking kind of would carry him. You know what I mean? I think we've talked about this before, but like I think it is kind of like a rock, paper, scissors situation where it's like not to say Lerone Murphy would beat Volk necessarily. I just think that he has a better chance than Evloev does. And I'm sure that like Volk might not give a fuck, you know what I mean? Either way, but if I'm like Volk's manager and my goal is to like see him continue to win these fights, I would rather fight Evil personally.
I agree. I think stylistically, Evilov's a better matchup for Volk. I do think Murphy presents different skills and definitely a speed. Like Volk is still pretty quick, but I think he can be tracked down more now just in his age.
Mm-hmm.
And the chin is just, we all know there's one shot away. I think Murphy is a tougher matchup. I still would take Volk to beat both of them, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, I think, I mean, Lord Silva's coming in. He's coming. He coming.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Silva will not be denied. And I mean, it's weird because I would almost like I could see Evilov more as the champion, weirdly, than Lerone, even though I really do like Lerone. But yeah, I think stylistically you'd rather want Evilov to win. But at the same time, maybe Evilov is just a very, very good wrestler and just shows him out. But it is less likely to happen. But I don't think either beat Volk.
Yeah, sick main event. And hey, Eugene Silva, guys, you guys got to watch out. There's a young man coming for revenge. Eugene Silva, Vallejos. A lot of people talking about that,
I
but
like Vallejos. I like Vallejos a lot. I want
Vallejo,
him to
everybody
fight.
else can get that belt put on him as well. I'm not gonna lie.
I want to see that rematch now. Yeah, I want to
John
see
Jones
more
putting
from
that belt down,
Vallejos.
baby. He's putting the belt down. Trust and believe.
Hey, Vallejo is dangerous, man. He dangerous.
No, he is good as fuck. I'm just saying, like, I just believe in Silva, bro. He's
I
too
know.
nasty with it. He's too nasty with it.
Featherweight's fucking cooking right now. All right, guys, let's move on to this co-main event. Clark, can you pull up the odds really quick? I don't see the odds here. It's Luke Riley versus Michael Aswell Jr. I'm assuming Luke Riley is a massive favorite
Luke
here.
Riley minus 258.
Oh, that's okay. It's still pretty good.
It's not as big as like I would think, but
What
that's
are you guys' thoughts on this one? I'm not too familiar with Aswell Jr. I'm going to be honest. So, what do you
I
guys have to say?
I believe Luke Riley has had like one fight in the UFC or like one or two.
he
You got
beat
to think
he knocked out Bogdan Grad.
I think
uh,
just one,
Bogdan
yeah.
Grad.
that's not like the easiest win I would say in your debut. Like it was pretty impressive that so Riley definitely has power. And I will say from what I've seen of as well, he does kind of just stand and bang and like kind of a bar style type of fighter. And I do think in this fight, Luke Riley should kind of be able to beat him. Like this seems like a setup fight for Riley to me
Yes,
in
absolutely.
London. I like Gaswell though. I think he's like tough, but I can see him getting finished for sure. I don't think he's that tough. I think Riley clearly has power in his hands, pretty good all around, but I mean, still very young fighter, so it's kind of hard to see it right now. I'm surprised this is the co-main though. Uh,
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
it makes no sense really.
You have MVP right there. You have MVP right there. Like, what
We'll
the
get the MVP, the disrespect the UFC showing this man, but exactly.
But
pissing me?
Riley's winning whatever way. I mean, I don't know how this fight goes, but
Yeah, I'm picking Riley. I don't. All right. Okay, we can move on. Let's move on to the MVP stuff. Before we talk about this fight, a lot of people, including MVP himself, are very frustrated with the matchmaking with him in the UFC. I don't know how old he is, but he only has so many more fights left. This guy is super exciting, like a fan favorite, and he stated multiple times on interviews, like with Ariel Helwani, that he doesn't really understand this matchmaking. Like the names they're offering him, he's just not. He doesn't love it, but what he's not going to fight, like so he doesn't really have a choice. He takes the Sam Patterson fight. What are your guys' thoughts on that? The whole booking with MVP. Are you guys frustrated with that at all, or?
I'm frustrated. I don't understand if it's people not wanting to fight him or if it's just the UFC trying to strategically use his name for shit like this. I don't get it, but like, yeah, I think that he should be having a lot more high profile fights than he does, and I think that he could win a lot of these fights if they let him fight him. Like, I don't understand. You get grapple fucked by Gary, and that's it for you in terms of big fights. Like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? We see even Gary was scared as fuck to fight him for real. Like, damn near humped his leg for 3 rounds. Like, he could beat a lot of these guys, and they're kind of holding him. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, it's just I mean, I think it's probably because MVP is like jumping divisions so much that they're kind of just like trying to find specific fights at the right time, but still like give him a ranked guy. Like the man's ranked, I believe, in both divisions near the bottom, but just give him ranked guys. MVP is probably one of the best strikers. He's one of the best strikers on the planet, I think, point blank.
Facts.
Just in pure striking, the way he moves, he's very unorthodox, I would say. He's also, by the way, only a minus 180 in this fight, which kind of crazy to me. I love Sam Patterson, but like he has not seen someone as close to the level as MVP in any fight he's ever had. I'll be honest, on the feet, I think he's gonna go out there and destroy. Like we just watched MVP destroy Jared Cannonier, who's had a great career, and now we're giving him Sam Patterson. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. Like,
No, it doesn't.
I mean, he wants to be active, so I think he's just jumping division. I think if MVP like honed in on one division, they'd probably like be giving him a different fight here, but I don't know if that's why or like what they're doing. It's a weird matchup, but MVP, I think gets his first finish here. I think he knocks out Sam Patterson.
But yeah, that leads me to my next question is like MVP, we know what he's about, the flashy striking and all that. It's super exciting. What does Sam Patterson have to offer to MVP in terms of like being a threat?
He can wrestle. He
And
can
he's
wrestle
long.
good.
He's long too. And they've trained together before. So like that's like, a big especially with like a fighter like MVP who like has a tricky kind of style. Having like seen it before, because like we've seen it just straight up confuse people in there before. So it's like having at least seen that multiple times, like you understand what he's trying to do and shit. Like I think that at least like that'll give Sam Patterson a little bit of comfortability. I just think that he's gonna show him like we ain't sparring no more. You feel me? I'm about to actually land these. When I land on you, it's not gonna. I'm not just gonna touch you like in the practice room. I'm gonna actually boom you.
I'm gonna dance on you when I knock you. What I mean, like, I'm not doing this in the training room, Sam. When we're
Right.
out there.
To be fair, this is the first MVP fight that I would consider bad booking. I like the four matchups that they've given him, but time's ticking, man. This is not a young dog. This is a vet here. We need to use his time wisely.
He said this is not a young dog.
All right, guys. I mean, we can keep going down the card in order, or we can just bounce around. This next fight, excuse me for this pronunciation, Io Baronensky versus Austin Lane. I believe Io only has one fight in the UFC.
Yeah, it was the craziest like minute and a half fight I've ever seen. Like,
Oh yeah, against Aslan.
yeah, I forget. Oh yeah, Aslan. They like knocked each other down like two times and like back and forth. He's gonna go out there and absolutely beat the brakes off Austin Lane though. Like they served this man up on a silver platter to Evo just to knock his ass out.
Yeah, I mean that they be doing that, man. They be doing that. Austin Lane is. I really hope this man has gotten paid something decently for all the brain cells that he be losing in there because he's like basically like kept around as a designated like bottom tier. Can you make it in the UFC like heavyweight division? I guess this is like this is light heavyweight now, but like usually like light heavyweight, heavyweight, like he bounces back and forth. But like, can you make it? You know what I mean? Like, because if you can't beat him, like they might as well just give you your walking papers, bro. Like I didn't like he beat like Robeles de Spain and like they got him the fuck out of there. Like
That is his only win in the UFC. Yes.
on some like yeah, because it's like Austin Lane is not like dog shit, but he has no chin.
Chin. It's the problem.
And he's like experienced, so he can like give you some type of a test. But like, if you can't beat him, like you're pretty fucked. Like you can't beat many people. You know what I mean?
No,
So
for
they're
sure.
obviously setting EO up for a highlight real KO, and it's just up to him to go out there and deliver at this point. Make the people happy.
Okay, let's move down to card to middleweight. This actually.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's move down to middleweight. We actually have somewhat of a ranked fight here. Number 11, Roman Dolidze, defending his spot against CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan. Obviously, the fans are going to be in favor of Duncan. It's a pretty good fight here. What do you guys think about this one?
I love this matchup. I think that CLD is primed to get a big win in front of the fans, and I think there's a good chance he can get like do so by finish, honestly. Like even though Delize, he's coming off a loss to Fluffy, which like you can't really blame him. Like Fluffy was on a tear, and I would say like Delice's like grapple reliant style kind of like matches up really up terrible with Fluffy in general. But I will say just like I don't know like what it is exactly, but he's just slowed down to me a little bit. His cardio seems a little bit worse, and it never was amazing. And I just think that COD on the feet like has such an advantage in like power and like technique that if Dolitze can't hold him down for 3 rounds or like find some type of early sub, it could just be bad news bears for him. And that's what I predict. I think that come Monday morning, like COD will be in the rankings.
I agree. This is a total setup matchup to me for CLD. I think unless he just shows the worst wrestling defense ever, which I think is Delize's only path to victory here. The issue I always see with Delize, you're right, X, he's just not good enough on the feet. Like he's never, I think, improved in that area. And I think it hurts him now in these kind of matchups against like younger, hungrier fighters on the come up. TLD very talented on the feet, has a lot of weapons. And I think if this stays standing, CLD will find the TKO for sure. I don't see Delize lasting. Delize's only hope is if CLD just has the worst takedown defense ever, which to this point I have not seen that. So it's CLD all day there.
Yeah, I agree. I like Duncan a lot. Super fun fighter. All right, guys. So, we could start bouncing around here. The prelims are they're all right. I like this fight: Nathaniel Wood versus Osena Kienta, the Black Panther. This is a pretty sick fight.
My guy Keita, bro. He's gonna come in here and show these Bellator fighters how it's done.
But this was the guy who's supposed to fight Pitbull, right?
Yes.
That one's okay.
And he pulled out. He was hurt or something, but
Yeah.
Keita's a beast. Like super Nathaniel Wood's a tough fight, but I thought Delgado low key beat him in his last fight. I think Keita's just a little too slick on the feet and powerful for him. And he's going to be the much bigger man in there too. So I really like Keita. I was gonna take Keita versus Pitbull, honestly. So I like Keita a lot in that. Nathaniel Wood is no slouch, though. I would say no slouch.
That's a sick fight. What else, guys, sticks out to you in the prelims?
Mario Pinto getting back in there. A young heavyweight getting back in there. I think Pinto's, yeah, he's ranked 15th. I'm not really familiar with this Felipe Franco guy, but
Because his first fight,
Yeah, I think it's his debut.
I mean he's 10-1, so shit, like he's got to be doing something, and it is heavyweight, so
and he looks jacked. Like he looks like a real heavyweight.
let me see what the odds are saying. Oh, never mind, bro. They're acting like Pinto's supposed to just run over this man. This guy in here to get crushed, I guess. But damn. But shout out Pinto though. I fuck with him. I fuck with him.
Oh yeah, they got him at like minus 900
That's disgusting.
right now. That is a little surprising, but yeah, I mean, I think the fight should be decent. The only one that jumps out to me on the rest of this is Mason Jones, Axel Sola.
It's a great fight too.
Yeah, Sola, I haven't seen a lot of his game, so I kind of just expect Mason Jones to probably win that because he has a lot more UFC experience. But I need to see more from Mason Jones to get him into bigger fights. He is winning, but it's like it's one of those Sean Brady paths that I'd never like to see, like a lay and pray mission from him.
And he did beat Balaji Oki, and Balaji Oki is a hooper to me. Like he's impressive to me. So I did like that was impressive.
Yeah, I mean he's looking better. It's just like, let me just I can't see the same Sean Brady like line of thinking and you just run into a Morales one day and get shown.
Type shit. I feel that.
So, but that's the only and they're well, Axel's undefeated. So this is like the only other matchup. The rest of this card, I can't lie, is name value disgusting.
Fight of the night, performance night predictions.
Yeah.
Let me see, man. Fight of the night. I could see. Oh, okay. Performance of the night. I could see COD getting like a highlight KO of some sort over Roman Dolite. Um, Fight of the night. I have to go to the main event, man. Like I really hope that the main event's fight of the night. Literally, like it should be back and forth. As long as Murphy can stuff a takedown a little bit, this will be a banger.
Yeah, I would say fight of the night got to be the main event. I'd say secondary. I could see Luke Riley and Aswell being a little bit of a scrap, just stylistically. So I do think that one's interesting. And then performance. I mean, CLD is an easy pick, but I would say as well, Ewo, Ewo to just totally destroy Lane like very instantly. So I think he's up there as well for that.
Facts.
Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let us know your predictions in the comments. Thank you so much for the support on the recent videos. Please go check out the TikTok as always, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.